everyone, Amanda here from Scrimpingmommy.co.uk. Thanks for joining me today, and I'm going to share this awesome little project with you. I've used the Come Sail Away suite, the DSPs, beautiful they are, and the Sailing Home Stamp Set and Coordinating Smooth Sailing Dies. These are I just love them. This week's favourite, I can't put them down. So what I've made here, if I just zoom in, I've made what I'm calling a mini album card. So the idea is it's a bit like a birthday card, okay, but when you open it, because it's basically it's birthday card size, it would fit in a normal envelope. So when you open it, we've just got a little tiny mini album inside. So you can put a gift card in here, a little tag, and then you could perhaps add some small photographs as well. If it's somebody's birthday, maybe put some photos of them or the family or whatever. Or if somebody's going away on a trip, you could send them this. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make construct the structure of it, and then the decorating is down to you. But I have stamped and die cut elements from the Sailing Home, okay, that's all I've used, and just arranged them in a cute way on a little belly band, okay. It's nothing fancy, it's not difficult, anybody can do it. You just need the right tools and you'll be able to make beautiful projects. So how to construct this cute little waterfall mini album stroke card stroke gift card holder. So what you need first of all is you need a piece of cardstock, and this needs to measure 8 inches by 8 inches. So I'm using an A4 sheet here, so 8 by 8, okay, and then we're going to score it at 4, and then we're going to turn it anti-clockwise and we're going to score it at 5 1/4. Alright, so I'll leave that to one side. Then you're going to need a piece that measures 3 1/2 by 2 3/4. So we'll do is that 3 1/2? Right, so I'll do the 2 3/4 that size. I'm trying to use up my scraps. 2 3/4 by 3 1/2. Okay, so this is going to be one of the pockets, and we need to score it on the long side at 1/2 inch, and then turn it anti-clockwise and score at 1/2 inch again. Okay, and that is going to go as a pocket. And then we need the waterfall pieces. So these measure, let me just turn over my page for my measurements. So these measure 3 1/2 by 3 3/4, and you need 5. So I'm going to go to my 3 3/4 first, and then we're cutting them all to 3 1/2. So that's 1, 2, 3. I'm going to run out of paper. So what's that measure? That's 3 3/4 by 3 1/2. That's 4. And I'm going to have to just run and get some more cardstock. Here we are, I've got some more cardstock. So 3 3/4 by 3 1/2. So that's 5 of those. Alright. And then what you're going to also need is a strip that measures, what did you do, about 1 1/2 inches. Let me just measure that because I just did it by eye. 1 3/4. So 1 3/4, and this is the full length of an A4. Okay, and that is to make your belly band. So move that to one side out of the way. Grab your 5 pieces that you have cut to 3 3/4 by 3 1/2, and on the 3 3/4 side, do check because it's the small difference. You need to measure each one, score each one, I beg your pardon, at 1/2 inch. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So that's on the 3 3/4 inch line. I will leave all the measurements over on my blog, okay? And when you come to lining with DSP, like I have here, if I just quickly show you again, I've layered the front, I've layered the inside, I've layered the pockets, and I've layered both sides of the waterfall fold. And then here, all you do is measure it, and whatever it measures, you knock off 1/4 inch. Okay, it's as simple as that. Alright, so let me just bob that back in there. So just measure it, check it twice, and then cut it. It's super easy. So all of these that we've just scored at 1/2 inch, we're going to fold and burnish all of those. You can knock these up in no time. Once you've done one, you'll be able to do it without even thinking. Okay, that's the pocket. So that's all of the waterfall ones. And what I have done as well, which isn't compulsory, but I just think it looks nicer, is I have rounded all of the bottom corners. And when I've cut the DSP, I've rounded the bottom corners of that as well. And this is the triple detail punch, I don't know, I'm guessing, but I'll leave the details of everything that I've used over on my blog. And the cardstock that we're using here is Night of Navy, and I've just used A4 sheets. You don't need that much at all to make this, and it's a great way of making a little, kind of like a card, a little bit something special. So let's move all of those out of the way. Those are our 5 waterfalls. So this is our original. So we want to, so we've got the 4 inch score line, and what was the other one? The other score line that we did was at 5 1/4. So these need folding and burnishing. Okay. So what you need to do now is, where you've got your bottom score line here, and there's your kind of your spine, your edge, you need to measure in 1/2 inch and then cut it up to the line there. Now I'm going to do it with my trimmer. If you're not confident of doing it on your trimmer, draw a line with pencil and cut it away. So 1/2 inch from the spine part, so you've got an open part and a closed part. You're measuring in from the closed part. Okay. And I'm going to just go like so, and then I will be able to just snip that away. Alright, and then what you want to do, you're opening like so. Okay, so this, the right hand tab here, flappy bit, you want to put in your trimmer. Okay, and it wants to go up to 1 1/4. Okay, 1 1/4, and then just trim that. Alright, so that when you're looking at it, because that's the way it's going to close, you're going to have one there and that one is smaller. Now what you want to do now is round these 2 corners here. Super simple. Just fold it out of the way, and you'll be able to round that, no problem. Now at this point, this is where, if you want to layer the inside with DSP, you want to layer DSP there. Okay, and your DSP, this is 4 by 5 1/4. So your DSP for the inside wants to be 3 3/4 by 5. Yes, 3 3/4 by 5, and then stick that down. Alright, and then you want to stick these upwards and glue them down. You can use whatever adhesive you want. I prefer to use wet glue. Alright, so just at the very edge there, and you're just creating some little tiny pockets. and get that glue off. Alright, so we've got 2 little pockets there. Now we're going to double this pocket up. So at this point you want to line these with DSP if you so desire. You can leave them plain, it's up to you. So again, you just go 1/4 of an inch shorter. So this now measures, so this pocket is 2 3/4 by 3 1/2. So that means your paper wants to be 2 1/2 by 3 1/4. Okay, and on this one your DSP wants to be 3 1/4 by 1 1/4. So you just, all you're doing is measuring it and knocking 1/2 inch off of the long measurement and the side measurement. It's that easy. Right, so this piece that we did earlier, and we scored it on the 2 edges, where you've got your score lines and they cross each other, you want to cut across at an angle. Alright, so it's like that. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to round that corner there before we do anything else. Get rid of those bits. Then we're going to fold over the score lines and give them a good crease. And this is going to create a double pocket. Now what I like to do here is just cut a sliver off of the top here so it doesn't show, and a sliver off of there. Alright, then you fold those in, and again if you want to line it with DSP you can do 1/4 of an inch shorter. And then we're just going to add some glue on there and on there where we've folded that score line over. Okay, and that will then go, and you want it right flush up against the edge of there. Give it a press, and then when that's dry you've then got a pocket there and a pocket there and a pocket there. Okay, right, let me zoom in ever so slightly. So now we're doing our waterfall. So all you have to do, super simple, this is so straightforward, a beginner can do this if you've never made one before. So basically they're all going to line up like so. So this flap where you've folded over, you're going to glue on this part here. So a little bit of glue on there, not too much, you don't want it all seeping out. Okay, then fold it in and very carefully line it up with the top of there, leaving an even gap at each side. Now as close to the top as you can without it actually being on the top, and then just check each side that you've got a nice even gap at each side there so that it looks nice and neat. Okay, alright, and then that is your first waterfall. And then what you do is you open it, and where the tab there has been glued down, you put glue on your second waterfall, just a small amount. Again, you don't want it blobbing everywhere. And you fold that in, okay, and then this line here goes up against the edge of the fold of there, so not into the fold, to the bottom of that 1/2 inch strip there, and you'll line it up as straight as you can. Okay, and then fold that other one down and make sure that they're lined up. Okay, otherwise you'll end up going crooked that way or crooked that way. So if you just take time, lift that flap down, they should be nice and neat and even. Okay, and then commit and firmly press with a foam folder, and then you just do the same on the rest. And this is the easiest waterfall mini album in the world. You can adapt it, you could do a small score mark there and have it so that it's, you know, able to withstand more content. You could make it with a chipboard spine. This is the basic process. So I'm just making sure those are lined up nicely before I commit and press that down. And when you open it that way, it should all line up with the edges to each other as well. So we're just going to keep going. Okay. Just lift them down, make sure it's straight. Go up and make sure it's straight, and it is. Okay, and then the final one, and then we'll talk about the belly band, because I'm not one of these that likes to measure and score belly bands. I do it by eye. So I'll show you how I do that process, and I make belly bands the same way every time. I haven't got time for scoring them and measuring them. So you will see there that if you've got those all lined up nicely, the bottom flaps here should not protrude over the bottom of your structure. So you've got your little front here that you can decorate. Okay, I've lined mine with DSP, I've distressed the edges and then I've inked it. You've got a pocket there and a pocket there. You could put another card in there, or a tag, or a gift card maybe for somewhere. Then you've got your 5 waterfalls, and then you've got another little tag there. Alright, so then what you want then is you want something to hold it all shut. Now you could just hold that with a paper clip. You could add a little eyelet. You could add a ribbon underneath your paper. I've chosen a belly band because it's the quickest, and I love decorating them as a focus. So here I've just cut a 1.5 inch strip, full length of the A4. It's probably more than I need, but another reason that I like to have more than I need is for stability, because this is going to be coming on and off and on and off and on and off. Okay, so I just literally wrap it around. I always leave a small gap at each side, because once you start to fill this with DSP, in fact I do the belly band last, but once it's decorated and you put in maybe some photos in, or a gift card or something like that, let me just zoom out ever so slightly, then this book is going to get fatter. Okay, so you always want to bear that in mind. So I do it roughly, so that is roughly speaking whereabouts I want it, and then I'm going to go ahead and crease it so that I know where I'm gluing to. Alright, and then I will attach some glue and glue that down, and I just do it by eye. Okay, I don't feel like it's wasting cardstock, because if I was measuring it, I'd maybe cut off that bit there. Well, what am I going to do with that bit anyway? You know, it's neither here nor there. I'd rather keep it as one full strip so that it's adding stability. Alright, and then you would just layer that with DSP. Again, you measure it. It measures about 4 inch, 4 to 4 1/4, and you just knock 1/4 inch off. And then, as you can see here, I've decorated it, and I've used the lovely dies from the Sailing Home. I've stamped them and then used the smooth sailing dies to cut them out. So we've got the ship's wheels, and we've got the anchor and the lighthouse, and this is a label that comes in the dies, and it's got a lovely stitched edge, and then we've got this like banner that looks like it's folded, and then the tiny congrats, which I did on white cardstock and trimmed. And I think that makes a great little gift for anybody, and it's a really good introduction to learning how to make that little waterfall action there for your mini albums. So give it a try, go and have some fun, nip on over to my blog, I'll leave the measurements over there. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.